All right, everybody. What's up? Happy April Fool's Day Eve. And welcome to crossover episode number 1, a mashup between Peach Mag and Middleyard. My name is Rochelle Tormino. I'm the editor-in-chief of Peach Mag. I'm joined tonight by other folks on the Peach team, Jacob Meyer, Ann Ginsberg, Sebastian Castillo is on his way, and the operator of Middleyard, Leah Clancy. Thanks so much for tuning in as we celebrate the official launch of our new event series, crossover episodes. Essentially, now that some of our events are transitioning back to in-person programming, we wanted to make sure that we found a way to offer some virtual happenings still. Because, you know, all things considered, we've had some fun these past 2 years being able to connect with performers and guests and co-presenters from all over the place. And on that note, thanks to Arts Services, Inc. for the generous funding to support the production of our first 4 crossover episodes, and to Just Buffalo Literary Center for partnering with us on the back end to make this happen. Keep an eye out for 1 more crossover episode before the summer, as well as 2 more after the summer. So just a word on the format so you guys know what to expect tonight. We're going to be having 6 different readers and comedians read for you tonight. We're also having a intermission game situation. But before we get to that, we're very happy to be partnering with Middleyard. For those of you who don't know about Middleyard, it's an outdoor DIY event space, AKA Leah's house in Los Angeles. It presents musicians, artists, writers, comedians, and all sorts of performers, plus vendors and drinks and fun and friendship and the occasional tree rat. Leah, you'll have to tell everyone what the hell that means. This is Middleyard's first virtual event, but they will be back IRL very soon. It's not the front yard, it's not the backyard, it's Middleyard. So tonight we have 6 amazing performers joining us from all over the place. We have Arti Gollapudi, we have Colin Drohan, Joe Barchi, Mark Leidner, Mary Boo Anderson, and Aiden Arata, who will be joining us somewhat asynchronously. Sorry to trigger anyone who's been working in academia the last couple of years. We're going to be kicking things off with a video from Aiden to get everyone in the mood and on the same vibe. Then we'll hear from a few readers, play the quick sort of chaotic intermission game in which you, the audience, will get to vote on a winner. And then we'll hear from a couple more readers and then call it a night. Thank you all for being here. A couple house rules, the usual before we get started. Please keep yourself muted. We are recording tonight and we're recording on speaker view, which means that if you unmute yourself and fart or do something weird, it's going to be a close-up on your screen. That's just going to be what it looks like, and you'll cut out of the performance. So please keep yourself muted, otherwise Jacob will mute you. That being said, you're welcome to turn your video on or off, but again, we're going to be recording, so just keep that as a heads up. We're going to be posting this on our YouTube after. And finally, we encourage you to light up the chat as always, but we reserve the right to bounce you if we find any of your comments mean-spirited. Let's keep the vibes good and blessed on this April Fool's Day Eve. And now I'm happy to introduce my co-host for this evening, the operator of Middleyard, Leah Clancy. Originally from Buffalo, New York, Leah has lived in LA for almost 8 years. She is a poet and writer with a BA in English from NYU and an MFA in creative writing from Cal Arts, and a whole bunch of student loan debt. Leah.
Hi, everyone. Rochelle, thank you so much. I'm struggling to turn this filter off because I look too much like my dad, and it's giving me some major bad vibes. Okay, here we go. Thank you so much again to Rochelle and Middleyard. Thank you to Middleyard. Thank you to Peach Mag. Jacob, tech bro duty right now, is holding it down. Really thrilled for all of the readers that are here tonight. This is just really, really fun. And it's also like it's my first Zoom event in such a long time that it feels a little novel again. So I don't know if that's bad or good. So we're going to get started, as Rochelle mentioned, with dear Aiden Arata's video recording of her reading. I'm going to just give her a little intro and then going to share my screen to get that going. Aiden Arata is a writer and artist from Los Angeles. Her work has been featured in Bomb, Mask, The Rumpus, The Fanzine, Hobart, and NDA, an autofiction anthology from Archway Editions, forthcoming in 2022. Aiden is also, again, not here. She has the last episode of her live stream TikTok sketch show that she's working on right now. So she is sad to miss it, but here is her, okay, screen sharing, let's go. There we go. God, this is so painful.
Hi.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Aiden. Thanks so much for having me. Hi, friends. Coming at you from the past, which is sort of the underrated form of time travel. I'm on photo booth because I thought that I could do this in front of Paris or something, but apparently they got rid of all
Sorry.
the backgrounds in 2020. Really screwed the pooch on that one. Paved the way for Zoom supremacy. But anyway, thank you so much for having me. Sorry, but it's for my friends. In cherry blossom season in my handheld game, I spent a lot of time catching petals in a net and tilting my little head because this is a game where you get points for wishing on a star. They gamified hope and I bought it, and real space is full of junk metal and dead dogs. Imagine rejecting something then letting it circle you forever. Couldn't be me. It's funny how the earth can't let anything go. I think that's supposed to be comforting. I can change. And if I want whatever I had, whatever I used to be is always there. The text, the bad habit, hit save. Every day I wake up and I think I'll be better and then I'm not. It's fire season and I want to tell you I love you by talking shit on someone else. My beautiful friends, every day I wake up ruining. I didn't know that I could watch the end of the world from my house through a digital cloudless night. Sometimes I ride my bike at sunset because a sunset always looks like an apocalypse, and because presence is its own rapture, when every moment beats down the one before it right in front of you. I guess the joke is that we all go out breathless, but I want to be breathless with you, up the mountain when we smoke our separate joints, and I start to think we might not be so different from museums, that idea of eternity defined by stasis, like those portraits of dogs that went to space. On the mountain, it's hard not to look at the dark and think someone put us out here to die. But if one of us is sad, we drive to the valley, or we give each other tattoos, or talk about the moon, or drink in the kiddie pool. And all the museums are closed, but I can look at high-res images online of Bernini's Ecstasy of St. Teresa, white marble, 1647 to 1652, and wonder what it's like to get fucked by God. Not in the parking ticket way, or the insurance way, or the he said sorry but he did it again way. I mean fucked, I mean liking it. I can change. I want to be the magician's assistant. I mean, I want to be the doves. Me and my friends are God's girlfriends that way. We laugh about who's getting screwed better, laughing but also jealous. I wish I was a silk scarf changing into a rose in their hands. I want to be the bunny pulled from eternity to applause. My friends in another life will take me dancing, put my hair behind my ear, put the powder on my tongue. Oh God, I miss the bathrooms most, the sweat and the shit talk and the pillow talk. I miss the squint of infinity we give each other when someone is being a dumbass. Hit save. Of course, the magic of the bunny is the bunny lives underground in the dark of the hat, of the warren, of the plan, or the mystery of my bedroom in the morning when I am alive again and filled with dread. St. Teresa running her hands over her body, different somehow. The bunny makes space for itself. It confronts the infinite earth and finds a way, like the space between the blow and the pain. I think that's what life is. My friends and I laugh and laugh. We want to be the bunny because we're tired of being the dirt. When my friend unwraps the needle and I say, give me a shooting star, I'm saying we're soft.
Okay. So that makes me extremely emotional. Aiden, I don't think 3 different times because she started crying the first 2 while reading it. So yeah, that was Aiden's poem. We're so glad that she could. All right, Rochelle, back to you. This is Artichoke, by the way.
The most perfect dog on the face of the earth. Awesome. Thank you so much, Leah. Thank you, Aiden. Up next, we have Colin Drohan. Colin is from Chicago. He is the director of writing programs at Catapult and was the archives editor for Jubilat. He is an MFA candidate in poetry at UMass Amherst and lives in Western Massachusetts. Give it up for Colin.
Thanks, Rochelle. Thanks, Leah. That was awesome. I have 5, maybe 6 short poems. And I tried not to pick ones about trees, so it's in keeping with the theme for tonight. Cosmic Country. Alone in the gloaming, I think about how I must be susceptible to cults. I spend my days craving self-improvement. I want a guide to show me what I can do to become another person, a totally different person. I mumbled creeds for years, they got me nowhere. I need something bigger, better than even that. What's stopping me if someone approaches me as I'm idling in the grocery store, deciding which cheese counts as a meal? And they say, "Excuse me, what is holding you back from fulfilling your dreams?" Nothing would keep me from walking out the door, my hand in theirs, following them wherever. I would give myself fully to that moment. Driven to ruin, I never thought myself a hungry ghost, but maybe that is why we have a problem here. And then this one's called Blood of the Youth. I walked around last year telling everyone Peter Thiel was my enemy. So this is my enemy poem about Peter Thiel. I'm just passing through, watching the changing light, again, capable of only being gangly and fragmentary. I miss all my friends. When I think too much, early memories of nothing specific that I'd like to discuss at length. I'd like the past more if we could continue editing it until we are more satisfied with our storylines. There are 23 new extinct species, and the rich continue to get richer each day, driving us closer to that extinction. I'd edit that out. I'd keep the other species, get rid of the rich. We'd all be okay. Our lives are insultingly brief, but we might get lucky. Still, we're just mortal. I guess I should say here, I've been reading a book about that man who wants to inject himself with the blood of the youth. I confess I crave violence. I want to slap him so hard. We're all going to die. I don't know what's hard to grasp about that. And then this is my other poem about a Republican, I guess. Space. They sent apricots to the moon again. Apparently they help with people's hearts. My heart is functioning satisfactorily. I eat apricots on Earth just in case. My father went to high school with an astronaut. As a child, I sent her a letter asking to be pen pals. I told her about how much I liked air travel. I told her she drove my dad to school. She never wrote back to me. I now know she is a famous Republican. I wish I knew a different astronaut. I wished I could become an astronaut. It is too late for me to go to space. I won't ever be presented with that opportunity. Even if I were, I don't think I'd take it. This is a fact I've somewhat accepted. I am too terrified of too many things. In a museum, I once looked at portraits of space dogs. I sat there and thought of Laika. They never sent her anything like fruit. They didn't even plan on her returning alive. A Night to Remember. Even I am shocked at how much I am yearning, watching the Titanic go down while drinking gin. I want to compare this to something. It seems so out of the question. Looking at my future past life, where are all my lovers? Out the window, I see a large and dependable river. It's an interesting miracle just to be here alive, missing people I barely know. I have come to accept most of my life is spent saying thank you to strangers, guilty of a certain tendency. It's better not to remember every mistake you've made. It's like the morning show host said, my joy is non-negotiable. The studio audience ate that up. I was at home thinking, who is this? How wrong this lady is. Let's put her in the river. And Send in the clowns. Resolved to feel anything other than doom and gloom, even though I woke to more terror. To tell the truth, I do feel hope sometimes, like when my friend called me to say he saw a billboard with a balding man. He knew I'd enjoy that, and we laughed together, though so far away. Confessing or revealing anything is such an embarrassment. It's difficult to be genuine without being tacky. Like if I walked around how I want to, saying hello to strangers, I would probably get punched, and I can't even say that I wouldn't deserve it. So I just walk the dog quietly. Her tail wags, her tongue sticks out sometimes. I let her chase the squirrels despite the trainer saying that specific reactive behavior should be stopped. Can you imagine if someone told me I had to stop reacting to my tormentors? And then the last poem's called Auto Portrait 3. I want someone to call me Vin Diesel too, but only in private. I am bargaining in a crisis. I forgot about the parts of my body I don't talk about much. I think fondly of every waiter who says we do things a little differently here when beginning to explain the concept of family-style dining. I don't know which team to be cheering for, but I like the ones who are, I'm afraid to say, losing. I have done this dance before. I fell in love with the man slicing meats at the deli counter. I am tired of being an egret now. I didn't ask to be haunted in this way or any other way. I am convinced sex and Jenga have the same narrative arc. I stole that from a friend. I think the clock is broken again. I can't find anything I need on Google or in my bathroom cabinet. I am eating potentially raw chicken because I am a guest here and I don't want to ask any questions. I want someone to pray so hard for me. I am telling you this because I keep thinking about it. I feel something adjacent to desire. I am at the coast expecting to disappear. I hope I'm not a criminal for what I'm about to say. That's it. Thank you.
Oh my God, amazing. Colin, damn. Thank you so much. That was really, really special. Colin has the distinct, the unique distinction rather of having gone to school with both me and Rochelle at different times in his life. Again, thank you, Colin. That was beautiful. Yeah, everyone give it up in the chat too. That was so good. Okay, so up next we have, is Joe or Arti next? Rochelle?
Joe is next.
Okay, Joe. All right. Joe Barchi is a poet and essayist living in Chicago. They are a Midwest editor at Joyland Mag, and their writing has previously appeared in or is forthcoming from Post 45, Triangle House Review, Based, the Poetry Project newsletter, and We Want It All, an anthology of radical trans poetics, out from Nightboat Books and edited by Kay Gabrielle and Andrea Abi-Karam. They are currently hard at work on a book of epistolaries. All right, and Joe, I had the pleasure of meeting them back in like 2018, I think, when LA was hosting AWP. And 16?
It was 6 years ago.
Holy shit. We're old now, aren't we? I guess.
We're old as fuck.
We're so old. But that was the best meeting you then, and it's the best having you here now. So take it away, Joe.
Thank you so much to Leah and Rochelle. I was going to bring up that reading because Caroline Rayner, who was just yelling my name in the chat, and I talk about that reading all of the time. It was a really, really great reading. And Bo Rice, who wrote this amazing book of nonfiction called Text, which you can't really find anymore, read. And Aiden, who just read, interviewed Bo in Bomb Magazine once many years ago. His whole book is kind of the basis of my project that I'm about to read from. Not to talk about it for too long, there are just like kind of two pieces of information you should have. One is that this is from a manuscript of epistolary poems, essays, whatever the fuck I'm working on right now. Each epistolary is named after a song. This particular one is directed at someone called Turner. And I'm just going to do a brief little bit of promo for my dear, dear friend, Kay Gabriel, whose book, Queen in Bucks County, comes out from Nightboat Books this fall. The second it's available for pre-order, you're going to want to do that. And that whole book is a lot of, I hope Kay isn't mad at me for saying this, persona poems directed at friends from the persona of someone who is basically her, but kind of a faggy boy. And it is intended to make the recipients kind of try to seduce Kay as a boy back. And this is one of the many letters I have written to this Turner character. This is called Swan Dive by Waxhatchee. Turner, I'm crying in the back office at work because the libertarian I'm sleeping with crushed some pussy last night. This was the inevitable end to Bisexual Visibility Day, but let me backtrack. I had sex with him on Thursday night again, thinking I had freed myself from some kind of mental anguish. I know what we are now. It's friends with benefits. I can do that. Hell, anyone can. It would be cowardly not to. The sex is too good. He made me come so hard I couldn't stop hysterically laughing afterwards. I just looked at him and laughed and laughed. I can't remember what color his eyes are, but I was looking right into them. And then I used my cum as lube and jerked him off, biting his earlobe and sucking at his collarbone and fingering his nipple. I asked him if he wanted to come on my face again, and he said, I'll shoot wherever you want. Be still my heart. Romance, here in the modern age. Of course he came all over my face. Ropes and ropes of that gorgeous vegetarian cum. You know exactly what I mean. The taste, the consistency. It makes up for years of cum from idiots that had the texture of nerd's rope and eluded my mouth altogether. You know what kind of cum I mean. I made sure this time to suck him dry afterwards too. God, his cock is so thick. Perfect fucking Irish East Coast cock, so hard to come by in the Midwest. Why, dear Turner, do I feel so shattered then? Is it because he said that even after sleeping with me, he still needed a win? I think we both know I'm the easiest W a man can acquire in this windy town. Winning a World Series or a Super Bowl are goals that are lofty and out of reach for most of these Malort swillers, these champions of 4 hams on a first date. But me? They can consume all the liquor they want, all the bathwater beer they need. They all know that I'll be available to be gently shoved into the nearest wall. He did choke me fully this time, a welcome change from my usual favorite. The hand placed firmly on the throat, no force though. Only the knowledge that force can be used. It felt electric. I wanted him to go further even, but I stopped. I was reminded the next morning by a friend that I spent this entire spring saying I wanted a man to beat the shit out of me. I guess I've been saying that for a long time now. I wonder where that desire comes from. It's probably something about intimacy or maybe closeness, which aren't really different, I guess. Where do you think the desire to be punched comes from? And where can I get a real good knuckle sandwich in this goddamn town? The long story is he's the trait of my dreams. He distracts me throughout the day with photos and videos of his dog, memes about drunk driving, and other classic hot guy behavior. He's read one book in the last year, and it was a book about the history of miners unionizing in Pennsylvania. His hair is so curly, so fun to hold on to. When we fraught, God, the fraughting. It was so intense this time. At first, I felt content to kiss him slowly, and then suddenly I was naked, and so was he, and my cock was running into his, and then lower, and then lower, and then I was throbbing in between his ass cheeks with his hole rubbing into my head. Surprise! I'm suddenly atop, post-choke. I've been joking about needing a lobotomy, but apparently a restricted airflow for 30 seconds will do the job perfectly fine. I didn't fuck him though, and he didn't fuck me. How libertarian of us both. I feel like I'm betraying your trust when I admit that sometimes I don't think about fucking him, I just think about kissing him. What a failed slut thing to say. I didn't even gag on his cock this time. I was dying to be face fucked, but couldn't be bothered to ask for it. After the choking, you think he would take more initiative. But it took him 3 hookups to even alert me to the fact that his small pink nipples are sensitive and directly connected to his cock. They didn't even jut out. How was I to know? Great, now I've made myself horny while I cry. How French? Or German, maybe? What's the difference again? The scene isn't shot in black and white, so it's hard to tell, but the white walls of this office certainly feel French. I guess I'm not cut out for casual sex. Or that's not true. I can slut with the best of them. Rut and suck and fuck and top and bottom and spin my partner round and round wherever he lands he can't be found. But I cannot spend 3 nights beside a man in bed. I spent the night again, and at one point he woke me up. He put his hand on my head and even ran his fingers into my hair to wake me up. In my memory, he sounded kind and worried, but he was probably annoyed. I was making a noise in my sleep, like my teeth were grinding loudly or something. He didn't know what the noise was, but it scared him. I think I was having a nightmare, maybe. I felt cared for. God, I can hear the girls now. The bar is on the floor, Joe. I know it is, you assholes. It's not my fault. I didn't make the conditions of love. I simply do everything in my power to create them every moment of every day with every man I meet. Maybe I'm just scarcity brain again. How ridiculous. I live in a goddamn cultural capital. I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't want to date him. He loves hiking or like climbing rocks, something like that. He has a great dog, and I do enjoy sleeping next to him and kissing him, and the sex I've been clear about. I just freak out. I'm fine for exactly one day. I leave his place, and then 30 minutes later, there's a video of his dog. He is sweet in that way. He knows I love her. But then I wonder, why not invite me back again, tonight? Why not ask me to be in your bed every night for a week? Why not pretend this is the love I need? I've grown out of all the empty bottles in my closet, but he's still having nightmares ever since he quit smoking weed. I understand the logic of friends with benefits. Really, I do. Why buy the cow when I can milk you for free? Maybe the problem is that I always want to be the most worthy cow, or I think that if I'm the cow who finally gets picked, then I'll finally be worth it. Or maybe the problem is that I'm not a cow. I just cannot be left to graze for hours on my own. I'm a lamb and I need a goddamn shepherd. I don't need a cattle prod or an electric fence or even monogamy. Hell, I'll even let him cheat. Any him. I've said it for years, but I'll say it again. No man has ever loved me enough to cheat on me. They would rather just leave me for someone else. Whatever happened to cheating? Whatever happened to staying until it's time to use that information against me? Whatever happened to heterosexuality? Is that what I'm trying to recreate? Is that why I'm unhappy? I haven't put on Swan Dive yet. I can't listen to it. Turner, I'm scared. It's only been 4 times, but I think I could love him. If I listen to Swan Dive, if I do my litmus test for love, if it comes back positive, I don't know that I'll be able to do what needs to be done. I don't know if I'll survive the winter when he drives his burnt orange Subaru off to warmer climate for a few months. Hanging in Montana, not missing any part of me. Maybe my tongue in his inner earlobe, but I'm sure he could find some 5th wave emo girl to do that for him. Love Without Anal. There's my fucking memoir title. Or a play about the state of the American family. You decide. Would it win any awards? I sure hope so. I've always wanted a Peabody. I've always wanted a boyfriend. I've always wanted a husband. I've always clung to a man's indifference, and they've always clung to their worst memories. I'm ruled by seasons and sadness. It's inexplicable. But mainly I'm ruled by the explicable ways my parents raised me to be. Damn my central nervous system, and damn this man for having good tattoos and a tongue that makes me pant like a dog on a hot day. Maybe I'm not a cow or a lamb. Maybe I'm just a dog. Always afraid that when he leaves the house, he'll never be back. I don't even have a key to the house. Turner, I'm stuck, but I swear I'm growing out of all these empty words I always speak. Are you? Write back and tell me, please. Tell me about the raver with his spiked belt and unstoppable cock. I'm dying for a hit of it. XOXO, Joe. Thank you.
So fucking good. You guys, this is so great. Joe, thank you so much. That's amazing. Sidebar real quick is that I went on a first Tinder date last night with someone, and we had talked about something briefly, and this morning all I received from him at 8:53 a.m. was a PDF texted PDF of capitalist realism. And
no,
thing else. So I just felt like maybe you could like that's like an adjacent letter that I should write to you. Oh, sorry, my messages aren't muted. Okay, everyone. So we are actually going to go into the game. Yeah, Mark Fisher gang, rise up. We're going to go into the game. God damn it, everyone. Messages. Stop. I feel like 50 years old right now in terms of technology. Okay, so here's the deal. Basically, this is called PowerPoint karaoke. The readers have learned very little about what they are to do. other than the fact that we have a little PowerPoint presentation that each of them will help present, even though they've never seen it before. So this is fun. And well, okay, so we're gonna have, actually Joe is gonna go first. So get that Joel out of your mouth, Joe. Just kidding. And then Mark will be second. Mary's gonna be third. Colin's gonna be fourth, and then Artie's gonna be fifth. And it's gonna say player number in the top corner. So it's 4 slides each. Yeah, and then everyone, you're gonna vote on who does the best presenting. And let me frickin' pull this up right now. Okay, here we go. Sharing screen. Why is this not working? Okay, I'm just gonna do it this way. Also, sorry for the serial killer background. This is a brand new computer, and it's part of why I'm struggling a lot right now. It's like the ugliest aesthetic ever. Okay, ready? This is called Haunted Las Vegas, Getting Spooky on the Strip. Is there a way I can do this without, can you guys see? Fuck, can you guys see my speaker view? Can you like see? Okay, I'm not sure how to do it, so we're just gonna keep you guys up here. Sorry that I'm so bad at this. It's incredible.
You're doing great. We can see you perfectly.
Thank you so much. Okay, Joe, here we go. Haunted Las Vegas, Getting Spooky on the Strip. Take it away, Joe.
Okay, let's go to the next slide.
There we go.
What is Vegas? Welcome to fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. For many, many years, people have been asking the question, what is Vegas? You could say that it is a city in America. You could say that it is, I believe, you can fact check me on this. I do believe it is the site of the most casinos in the entire world in one place. At least definitely the continental United States. Is it haunted? Is it spooky? Those are better questions to answer and to ask than what is Vegas? If we could go to the next slide, please, Leah. 95% of most people don't believe it, but here's why it's true. That Las Vegas is deeply and truly the spookiest town in America. You know, with that many casinos, what are we talking about here? How many murders do you think we're talking about here? Has anyone ever seen a Martin Scorsese movie? Think about that times like 10. That's how many murders have happened in Las Vegas. Now, granted, a lot of you are going to say, Joe, ghosts aren't real. They don't exist. No human being has a soul or the right to eternal damnation or eternal paradise. That's totally cool. Catholicism is back in, so you really have to just kind of get on board with that. If you're not, it's not really my fucking problem. I'm Italian. So yes, 95% of people maybe don't believe that Las Vegas is haunted and is spooky, but that's not really my problem. I'm here to speak to you because you are, of course, members of the 5% of people who are entirely correct. Leah, if we could go to the next slide, please. Now, just because Elvis didn't die there on a toilet does not mean that his ghost does not haunt Vegas. And just because Zabumafu, rest in peace, did not die there does not mean that he does not also haunt that. And just because my roommate is about to walk in with her dog George and he is not about to jump directly onto me does not mean that I'm not going to keep talking. What it does mean is that Zabumafu's ghost and Elvis's ghost both haunt Las Vegas. To answer a question in the chat, Zabumafu did not die on a toilet, but he did die on a tree, and for lemurs, that is basically the same thing. If you could please have my final slide. Amazing. What are ghosts made of? Dryer lint, Diet Coke burps, spider webs, or Wi-Fi? Can someone please answer in the chat? Okay, everyone is wrong, and I'm really, really sorry to tell you that. Yeah, it is Diet Coke burps. I didn't see who said that, but thank you so much. It's actually more specifically not just Diet Coke burps. It's that moment when you sip a Diet Coke and it is like a knife right here. You know what I'm saying? You know when you get that first hit of Diet Coke and it's just a fucking like knife and it gets stuck there and it feels like a solid object? That's a ghost. And that's what ghosts are made out of. That is a ghost walking through you and trying to feel connected to something. And you know what ghosts feel really connected to? They feel really fucking connected to Diet Coke. They're just like a Nancy Myers heroine in that way. Thank you so much for allowing me to present my thesis here.
Exceptional. Mark, let's hit it.
Okay, so what we're looking at here is a photograph that I took of a ghost that was not in Las Vegas, but right outside the city limits. And that's actually me in the foreground. I set up a mirror behind me just so it would prove that I was there. And so I'm just trying to add to, what Joe was laying down about how ghosts are real and stuff. This is a tattoo that I have, and trying to get more people to believe in ghosts. I thought it would be a good idea to kind of like capture some provocative imagery of a famous person who died and is still alive, I guess. Definitely, I mean, 100% is a ghost. And the growth chart to the right is representative of how many people have convinced that their ghosts are real in Las Vegas. This human is in a piano store, and they I don't know why I introduced them as a human. This is my cousin, and our family owns a piano store. And if you go in there and say you believe in ghosts in Las Vegas, you can get like a 30% off on these pianos. Obviously, this is photoshopped, but I photoshopped it on purpose just to try to show you that, like, when ghosts are real, you would think that, Snoop Dogg and that lady they wouldn't be hanging out a lot, but they clearly are. And it's just the power of fusion of souls, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. Thank you. Oh, I still got one more. Is it still player 2?
I might have messed up. How many did we do, y'all? I can't. We had, let's see.
This is me trying to convince Mike Tyson to back up. And I don't want him to hurt that guy behind me. They're arguing about whether or not ghosts are real in Las Vegas, and as much, I'm not worth it. Thank you.
Amazing, Mark. Thank you so much. Mary Boo, we got you up next. Oh my God. Okay. No, this is Mary. This is not Mark.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mary Boo. I am a ghost rights activist. And as we can see in our last slide, there is great debate whether or not they are real, but also whether this Las Vegas territory is our territory. And as an activist on the behalf of the ghosts, sponsored by Monster Ultra and the clowns, of course, I am here to represent 1 in 3 ghosts experience a serious epidemic, guys. This is not talked about, right? We're talking about the dissonance and People getting COVID, vax, unvax, but what about the ghost representation in there? 1 in 3, an epidemic. COVID-1, COVID-2, COVID A, B, C, Omicron, B, COVID new strain, Monster Ultra. That's right. Our sponsors, they're also trying to, kind of terrorize the ghosts. So it is, they're not exactly nonpartisan, right? They're participating in both ends of the spectrum, but it's a really big issue. In fact, we at Las Vegas have actually created a new casino, specifically hospital style, to make sure that our ghosts are receiving the best of care, right? When they can, when they're going from the New York casino to the Eiffel Tower casino, and then they happen to get the epidemic, then they go to hospital casino and they can gamble while they get better. Thank you so much. Next slide, please. So this is what happens when they get the epidemic. It's not how we experience the epidemic, right? We experience it with the aches, the pains, the sniffly noses, the social pariahness of it all, right? Having to do Zoom teaching for me on the side. I have a side job because obviously activism does not pay, but ghosts experience this kind of epidemic in a very interesting and I would say surrealist way, right? They experience this idea of a dandelion head, right? That means a kind of a lightness in the head. You kind of feel fluffy behind the sinuses. They also experience the wind drifting kind of through their bodies, right? They become more hollow while experiencing real aches and pains. This surrealist epidemic is really, really a travesty to them. And I came here to please ask to support them and support me in supporting them. Okay, thank you. So another kind of fact we need to touch upon in this, obviously ghosts experience, they're trying to be kicked out of their homes, even though we're trying to support their squatters' rights. They've been here way longer than any of us. They experience the epidemic, but they need school supplies too. They have schools. We need to fund their education. We need to defund the ghost police and refund our education systems, okay? We need more pencils, we need special pencils. We need Staples to come in and sponsor, maybe to kick out our other sponsor, Monster Ultra, and deliver us some real education materials, right? We can't be teaching only with high energy soft drinks and surrealist epidemics, right? This is a problem. What about the future of the ghosts? I urge us all today in this meeting to really think about the future of ghosts and their education, their health, their mind, and not their body. Thank you. I can keep going. Okay.
Here, Mary, thank you so much. We're gonna head on over to Colin.
Awesome. So on the left here, this is my friend who makes really good lasagnas. And the zone in the red is where we can watch ghosts while eating lasagna. And in the duck drink, there's like drink that makes us friends of ghosts. I don't know. Do the next one. Yeah. I'm thinking about lasagna, not ghosts. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is us once we get the ghost drink and the lasagna in us. I'm going to keep talking about lasagna the entire time I'm doing this. And it also gives you like powerful costumes. So the ghosts think that you're one of them. And then you get your photo taken and it's forever on dreamstime.com. And you're a ghost basically on dreamstime.com. So that's that. This is my dog as a ghost. She does not get to eat the lasagna, but every other ghost and ghost friend gets lasagna. And this is just a non-Halloween costume. This is her just trying to fit in. She wants to be a ghost admirer with everyone else. Oh, that's the fact that you won't believe. Yeah, they don't wear that on Halloween. I didn't read the thing. I just looked at the photo of the dog. Yeah, and this is me thinking about all my ghost friends when I have all these other responsibilities in my life, especially diet and the one next to my eye that looks like dancing to me. Diet and dancing are really important, but those are like my priority, or they like should be my priorities, but the ghosts and lasagna for dinner are my real priorities. That's what I got about that one.
Colin, thank you. Exceptional. And we're gonna bring it on home with Arti.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Can everyone hear me? Is this going okay? Okay.
My favorite fact is that we are all ghosts. A part of us is a spirit from that's very ancestral. People actually might believe that. So that is a fact, both on this astral plane and beyond. Next slide. Okay. Oh, great. It's two of my exes. That actually really sours the mood for me to see them both here on the slideshow like this, because they both did in fact ghost me different ways. One ran away and the other just shit the bed during an election. You're gonna have to decide which did which, but both really just broke my heart in very separate ways. Next slide. Oh, great. Yeah. This is actually one of our wedding photos. So again, kind of sours the mood a little bit. It's actually both of the previous people on the last slide getting married. And they both ghosted me, and it's on a ghost ranch in fucking right outside of Las Vegas in the middle of the fucking desert. Because the thing is love, and ghosts should have the right to get married as well. I'm actually proposing a bill that post-mortem, we all continue to pay taxes. So post-mortem, we should be able to get married. We should be able to own property, etc. Because, the government owns us, and that's what Ghosts really shows us. Is there a next slide? What's going on? Wow. Here's how you can help. Okay, don't you agree? I really think we can all help by really pushing the government's agenda of, we already have NFTs. So I would really like us all to chip in and think about how the government can also own our souls post-mortem. I think it's a really important thing, especially if we got any neoliberals in the house. This is a bill for you guys. So I hope you all agree that the government should own our soul to infinity and beyond, to quote my savior and king, Buzz Lightyear. So thanks, guys. Yeah. Oh my God. That was so moving. Thank you so much, everyone. So please go to the chat and please go to the chat and just let us know who your favorite presenter was. Just go ahead in the chat, and I just feel so emotional.
I feel like, honest to God, moved. I got like goosebumps at the end. Like really just like, I wish we could have like had like, just like low key, just like had like the Star Spangled Banner just kind of getting until like, you couldn't hear Arti anymore.
Like fade out. So this may come as a surprise to everyone, but those presenters had never seen those slides before, and I just am really honored to have been able to witness that so much. So Rochelle, would you like to continue this whole thing forward for us?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to keep collecting these responses, and then we'll announce at the end who won. If you didn't get the link, I'm going to drop it one more time in the chat. No cheating, one person per vote. But like we're not really like it's not a real sophisticated system, no oversight. So I mean, if you like really feel strongly, then cheating's fine. All right, we're going to keep it up. Next up, we've got Arti Gollapudi, who is a writer and comedian based in Brooklyn. She has been featured in Bustle, Vulture, Wax 9, Huffington Post, Brown Girl Mag, and other venues. And you can see her upcoming hour of comedy, music, and poetry called Lackadaisical Loser, which will be performed at Joe's Pub on July 17th. Everybody, welcome Arti.
Hi. Oh my God, what a time. All right, I am going to read some random pieces of things. I am cat sitting right now. During the first few performances, I did clean cat puke off a rug. I just wanted to announce that to everyone because I feel like end of Women's History Month, I just want you all to know that like women can do it all. Just want to put that out there. Nice. Okay. I'm gonna read some like short-ish essay type things, you know. And yeah, cool. A little bit about me before we get started, I guess. I am primarily a comedian and I like do write poetry and all this shit. This is a part of like a short project, a book of sorts that I'm working on called Something Stupid Sweet That Fades. And it's kind of vignettes of a manic woman is how I keep describing it. But also just a lot of things rooted in identity, loneliness, isolation, and just, you know, bowel movements. So all your bases are covered. So this is a essay that I turned into a poem and then I turned it back into an essay. Just like bisexuality, I keep flip-flopping. So here's the group chat. There is nothing like crying about nothing to a group of equally unhinged women. Those women who remind you to eat and breathe and shit together, then take a gulp of liquid courage that burns down the gullet a couple of drags in. The women who let you slur sentences under cloudy pink floodlights on ceramic tile laced with Pabst. All those shows about girls linking arms down the streets of New York wish they were us. They wish they were as mean, as loud, as brash, and as sensitive as we are, can barely approach the surface of our tenacity. The messages that have been sent to men who have hurt me from women in the group chat, all of them pouring over a cauldron of knives. The ghoulish grins we all put on our faces when we work together to seek revenge. Our chat is an archive of screenshots, a mapping of all the love lost and faded crushes, ephemera of sorts, or as Jose Munoz describes, as traces, glimmers, residues, and specks of things. These things being lineages of romance and of late nights, of varying heartbreaks and collective wins, of feeling, of milestones, of things turned sour, of weekday afternoons when we are all at our different jobs making jokes, laughter over a chat as respite. A channel for our gossip. I admire their dedication to brutal honesty. Our feelings are no longer contained in our individual bodies, but instead a shared vehicle for our joy, our sorrow, and our unwieldy roasting. Between photos of various pets live secrets safely tucked away in blue bubbles. I'm so stoned when I text all while watching Real Housewives, like, ladies, this is so us. We love getting into trouble while sending photos of our asses, telling each other, that's the one, actually, this is it. I've seen everyone's nipples and memorized them by heart because that's dedication, even though my therapist calls it obsession. And perhaps we are obsessed. Perhaps this is an attachment disorder. Maybe it is questionable that I can't make decisions on any menial purchase without sending a million photos to a group of women who are enablers. We want the before, during, and after of everyone's haircuts. We want updates on the first date during a pee break. Every photo of every meal while on vacation is necessary. I need to know about even the smallest fights with you and your partners. Every text to every potential lover must be greenlit by them. This is the DNA of our moral conduct. The constant stream of communication can be perceived as a lot, but we are building something. We are creating protection. We are encouraging each other to try with a guarantee that even if we fail, no one's skull will crack on pavement. Through the group chat, we can find traces of Marxism. There's no hierarchy in the sharing of feelings and experiences. It is a group's purpose to lighten the load for the individual that experienced the initial impact. Even joy can sometimes feel like bricks, so we each take a piece and celebrate. In sharing this way, I can envision futures beyond myself. I can find infrastructure for community care, and most of all, I find family beyond blood. Sure, we talk shit, but we are also intertwined in shared desires and dreams. If I were to print out the chat in its entirety, we can see a litany of sorts, chants of support, rounds of laughter. Before my parents, it will be my group chat to go recognize my body when I die of something stupid like eating too much dairy in one sitting while on an edible. And when I go, they'll be sitting there at my open casket, tits out funeral like, wow, that is so her. And wow, can't believe we got to plan the funeral where all the men who collect records will gather in one place to worship my best friend's pussy. Hallelujah, they were blessed to swirl their nasty guitar picking fingers in her holes, but we know what they did. We remember. In fact, we can't forget. because she wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. And good God, we will miss her, over emotional, erratic ass. But we forever have the catalog of her mistakes imprinted on the group chat. So that is, if anybody has an unhinged group chat of women, really kooky times. My next essay that I'm going to share, well, as you guys can tell by my very chill vibe and demeanor, I'm a stoner who works at a bookstore. And prior to that, I actually worked at a bookstore. And before that, I worked at another bookstore. So I've been working at bookstores for a hot minute. And June 2020, I went back to this bookstore that I got let go from, like, period, for that early COVID moment. And it was, I don't know if anybody else had to go back to work so early, but it was a very intense moment to jump back into work, I would say, because it was at this moment where everybody was buying anti-racist books and being really mad if they weren't getting it on time. Like, there was a white man who once threw an Angela Davis book at me, and I was like, that's like really gorgeous. I really love that because, like, you know, I know, like, I don't know how bright everyone's screens are, but I'm definitely not white. And so it was a very strange experience, but it was also a white-owned bookstore that I had a lot of trouble maneuvering through as I kept getting, like, hired upward. And the thing that, like, kind of clung me into keeping on moving through was I had a really intense work crush. And I love a work crush because it makes you feel alive. You know what I mean? Like, I love a crush in general because you're like, I can, like, breathe again. You know what I mean? It's like, there's a reason to get up in the morning, and it's to, like, send a meme to someone. And so I wrote like a short piece about that experience. Just a heads up, my crush was a 25-year-old rapper who was technically my subordinate at the bookstore. You know, yes, we love it. You know, they don't show this on TV, baby. Like a broke 30-year-old cat sitting for rent money doing a Zoom show. We love it. But I really was the moment that while experiencing, I felt really dark about, but as I step away from it and I work and live in a completely different headspace that feels so much healthier, it's just kind of funny to look back. So this is called Love in Hell. Doomsday is coming, and when it all ends, it will peel open a split screen of alternate universe me if I held it all together, and the current me queefing in bed again. I'm always trying to explain when it happens post-coital with strangers that it's not a fart, but even if it was, who cares? It's almost over. All these moments blend together and perform as a slow burn fade out of obsession. Time feels like it is oozing between my fingers, a slime that is slipping into cracks, getting stuck to carpet. It feels listless to even think about beginning again, but I do it anyways. A million billion restarts, and each reload, I end up just remaining me. Everyone around me reminds me that I am still / forever changing, expanding and contracting and peeling apart, shedding skin and packing pounds, constantly reading and listening and reforming my brain, but always, always, always carrying a sprinkle of dread. And my therapist, she is so full of hope and light, though. She tells me we always change with or without people around us. She's hues of pink and orange as I sit on the other side of the screen, half stoned, half awake. February 2021, I found myself looking for sedation. It was 8 months from when I decided I wanted to try to still be alive. I began placing one foot in front of the other, but by that February, I found myself walking in circles. I found myself in hell. Hell is not necessarily a place, but it is a feeling. To want is torture. There was a point in meeting you that felt like I was about to touch the sun. It was fascinating and engulfing and felt a little dangerous. Sometimes I think you really could have been just about anyone, but you just happened to be right there in front of me, making it easy to fall into hysteria. Other times I remember that I saw fractals of Ryan in you, little glimmers of a boy who was no longer here. It's strange mourning someone who appears in everyone I have love for. So when February 2021 arrives, I am in the thick of something different from wanting to die. There were similar strains of feeling untethered, but it is entwined with spurts of knowing there is eventually always light. I also had built up so much energy and tension with you because remember, I was in hell, a hot fucking fiery hell of wanting to push you up against the poetry section of the bookstore. Every day at that goddamn bookstore was monotonous as fuck, selling Sally Rooney to white women with stringy hair and hiding heavy stacks of the Obama memoir under tables. Sorry, she's great, she's fine. Yeah, everyone can read her, you know, beautiful world, whatever the fuck. Daily boredom was broken up by getting stoned on my lunch break and taking control of the aux cord to see if you like my playlist. Hell is me waiting for you to reply to a meme I sent 12 hours ago. Hell is finally getting what you want, but not having the capacity to express your desires. I was still crawling my way out of a hole I spent 29 years digging, and I was almost out of it when we finally collided. Mismatched teeth crashing into each other, impatient hands moving in heat. This may sound like something that was uttered in an abstinence-based sex ed class, but there really is nothing sexier than waiting. The corny ass buildups. I miss running home from work to tell my roommate that while handing off a novel, I accidentally touched hands with a boy who would later tell me the best way to eat a peanut butter jelly sandwich was to keep it smushed at the bottom of your backpack for a full day. I savored these little moments because it reminded me there is sweetness even between breakdowns. Some of you didn't spend all of 2020 into 2021 sedating yourself with a pocket full of pills and a head full of marijuana, and I envy you. I envy anyone's composure as I combusted into chaos, all of my friends rolling their eyes at me because I fell for a 25-year-old who never wore a helmet, and I couldn't shut the fuck up about it. I'm still unwinding myself from the embarrassment of it all. To have an ass full of soft shit and a heart full of regret is humiliating. But I'm slowly gluing the pieces back together from disappointment and actions as a result of boredom. It wasn't you who temporarily destroyed me. Folks who know me best can attest that I'm a DIY girl. I can into a spiral all on my own. I don't necessarily need anybody, but it was nice having you on the way to help me crack wide open. When the year ended, I felt puffed, full of pride. I became some sort of aged jewel, an artifact found beneath layers of dirt. So all I ask of my future lovers is to prop me up in a glass box and observe me. I am gleaming, gorgeous, unable to be ignored. I am fascinating object with sharp edges. To my future lovers, please wear me on a necklace, hide me in a safe, protect and preserve me only to bring me out on occasions like your enemy's funeral or your mother's wedding. I will keep close to your chest and forget about my own. I'm secretly collapsible and easily mushed into whatever mold you'd like despite my angular disposition. I want someone who agrees that it's not so bad being stoned all the time. I've learned to feel lighter than air with sandbag feet, keeping me to the ground. So when the world spins out in a way, I'll stay here, waving goodbye to you all, because I knew that no matter what, you'd eventually leave me here in hell. Thanks, guys. That's all my time. Thanks for having me. Yay. Arti, thank you. That was so amazing. I think that yours and Aiden's poems involving female friendship and group chats they're just like, honestly, they need to be just sent out side by side to every single person in the world. Anyways, I am so grateful for that. Thank you so much again, Arti. Thank you to the cats that you're cat sitting for not throwing up during that, because that would have, honestly, maybe that would have been pretty fun. April Fool's thing. So we would be middle. Okay, so up next, we have our penultimate reader, Mark Leidner. Mark's most recent book is the poetry collection Returning the Sword to the Stone, published by Phonograph Editions in 2021. It's actually, oh, you can't see it. It's on my bedside table behind me. It's excellent.
Whoa, thank you, Leah.
Oh my God, I love it so much. He has also written 2 feature films, 2019's Empathy Incorporated and 2014's Jammed. His story collection, Under the Sea, was published by Tyrant Books in 2018. All right, everyone, please welcome Mark.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Rochelle, for both of y'all for inviting me, and to the other readers. It's been fun. This poem, I'm going to just read some poems from this book that came out about a year ago, Returning the Sword to the Stone. 8 things I hate about me. I hate it when I spend my life breeding and training elite sled dogs, only to end up the crusty old villain in some younger musher's story. I hate it when I'm giving an academic talk at my alma mater and my old mentor is a no-show, causing me to question the value of my scholarship. I hate it when I humiliate a nerd in the lunchroom or bathroom, only for them to become cool later, humiliating me at a house party or a school dance. I hate it when I'm trying to avoid seeing a dive bar right behind me just as the last city bus barrels by in the rain, reflecting in its strip of moving windows the dive bar's neon signage. I hate it when I spend my youth decrying the hypocrisies of adults, only to become one who conceives of hypocrisy as the very pinion of consciousness. I hate it when I plant a kiss on each bicep in a dive bar, mocking a dock worker with biceps twice mine in diameter into arm wrestling me, only to be all the more humiliated when I lose. I hate it when I fall off my yacht and the weight of all the mobile gaming consoles in my cargo shorts pockets pins me to the seafloor. I hate it when I'm in geometry class, intent on disrupting the lesson with inane and off-topic contributions, only to be moved to silence by the beauty of the Pythagorean theorem. This next poem is, I'll do a really short one. It's called Opening Day. If they ever really did clone dinosaurs and built a real Jurassic Park, it would be funny if a tiny little asteroid arrived and destroyed only it. That one's just kind of a one joke, but I really liked it. And I do think that would be funny. I think that would be just the funniest thing. This next poem is called Youth is a Fugitive, and it's a list of aphorisms, which are kind of like, if you don't know, supposed pithy statements of truth. It's a very, like, to me, a low, it doesn't get much respect as a form. It's kind of like nobody does aphorisms anymore. That's so stupid. Anyway, that's part of why they're appealing to me, because they're so difficult. Anyway, youth is a fugitive that thinks it's a hostage. You know the labyrinth has 2 exits if you can feel the wind. Hell is an orgy of everyone you know. Heaven an orgy of strangers. Just the faint glimmer of the possibility of love instantly gerrymanders your entire past. An exotic analogy to which no one relates, but to which people wish they related, will always out-circulate an actually apt analogy to which people actually relate. A child surprised that a neon sign isn't hot the first time they touch one knows how it feels as an adult to achieve one's goals. The amount of muffin left stuck to the wrapper when you open it is the % of your childhood that was the way you remember it. Crime is a dream justice has when it sleeps. Boredom is the cruelest aphrodisiac. All you need is love to have a home in every moment, and all you need is poetry to have it be a mansion. Desire rudders a ghost ship. Believing in God is like believing in an endless stream of letters following Z. Loving anything more than yourself is like a misquote that clears you of plagiarism. Cowardice is the fear of suffering, courage, the fear of wrongdoing. Nothing is purer than gratitude, and because it's so pure, it's the first thing to blow away when the wind blows. Anything is possible, but everything is too expensive. History is stranger than truth or fiction. The eyes are teeth that see. Grace is a diaper you never have to change. Mourning a more convincing dream. Life is long for a brief time, then brief for a long time. The problem with irony is that it is too soothing. It suggests a pattern to tragedy and therefore mitigates the terror that tragedy is random. Were tragedy patternless, we'd be meaningless, and all the ironies of literature are a dam against this despair. All right, last one I'll read. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's really long, but I'll read. It's okay because it's just another long list, but many of my poems are just lists, and one of the benefits of that is you can just kind of stop whenever you want. You can just end it whenever you sense that it's time to end it. But if you want to read the whole thing, you can read it in the book. This is I'm running for president. I believe every dog turd is a sundial when the sun is out, and when the moon is out, every buffoon is a poet. And wisdom is anything an idiot will pay to find out, no matter what heavenly body is visible. And I'm running for president. I so close the neck holes of my sweatshirts, then sew belt loops along their bottom hems, and slide my legs through the sleeves because I wear sweatshirts like pants. And I cut the crotches out of all my sweatpants for my head to go through because I wear sweatpants like shirts with my arms through the legs. And I'm running for president. Whenever I successfully pass through a doorway, I turn around and point a wry, weary grin at the door and fist bump the doorknob, like the door and I are dramatic foils who finally learn to work together at the end of a buddy cop epic. And I'm running for president. I believe that Christ rhymes with fist. I believe that babies should get braces on their baby teeth. I believe the B in subtle should never be silent, and I'm running for president. I take power naps on diaper changing stations in the bathrooms of casual restaurants. I put peanut butter on both sides of one slice and jelly on both sides of the other and then eat the sandwich with gloves. Out of old calendar pages, I fold paper airplanes. I then fly through the rain, less to say anything profound about time than because calendars tend to pile up, and the paper they're made of is usually substantial enough to cut through the wind and repel falling water. And I'm running for president. Did you know that since primordial times, certain columns of open air were predestined to become elevator shafts? Did you know that all the restaurant fare in the world is secretly prepared in a single underground kitchen and sent to every restaurant kitchen on the surface through a network of pneumatic tubes? Did you know that if you spread your arms out wide and spin around really fast for a really long time, then suddenly hold your head still with your hands, you can see all of history at once? These and more are the mysteries I store in my mind and that I'll be sharing even more of with my friends when I become president of them. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah. Mark, thank you so much for that. I can't recommend his new book enough. It's so fun and good. Jacob is dropping some links to where you can get it. Yeah, thank you, Mark. Now we're on to our last reader of the evening. It's been so fun. No, I'm gonna wait until after she reads before I announce the winner. Mary Boo Anderson. Mary Boo is an artist and writer living in Los Angeles. Her writing has been featured in American Chordata, Hobart, Peach Mag, and Metatron, among others. Her art has been exhibited in museums and galleries across the US and abroad. Mary Boo, welcome.
Thanks so much to Rochelle and Leah and all the amazing writers. It's been such a joy hearing you all read. I've really been enjoying this. Need this book. It was so fun. Yeah, just so excited to be here. All right, I'm reading some poems. My phone is on a few percentages, so we'll see how this goes. I might need to change technologies. All right, ignore my very boomery case. See all my identifications. Cool. When men talk to me, I see endless red zigzag lines under all of their words. I live in New York. I've been busy. I'm killing unkillable plants. Plants are so passive aggressive, like I'm wilting and thirsty, but also I'm fine. I need all living things to communicate clearly with me. People always think that by not being clear, they're being nice, they're softening the blow. Bitch, what blow? Bitch, tell me your expectations and needs so I can lovingly fulfill them, or fuck off. Capitalism in the form of me always just to buy some pink Crocs as a consolation prize. Fingers stained with Takis. I'm reading on my phone. Uh-oh. All right. It did die. This has never happened before. You know, I do ride it close to the edge. This has not happened. Give me a second. Okay, I'm gonna find a charger or something. Okay, I'll be right back. Let's get a second.
While she's doing that, does anyone want to chime in with predictions of who they think won the intermission game?
I feel like it's gonna be pretty freaking close.
It is. It's really close.
Hey, I'm so excited for that. I found a solution. Okay. All right, I'll read this.
That was very fast, Mary. But
Yeah, wow.
like,
Okay.
wow.
Okay. I'm very innovative.
I was ready to riff, but all right. Look at this! Pink Crocs. Okay, sorry.
Capitalism in the form of me always just to buy some pink Crocs as a consolation prize. Fingers stained red from Takis. I'm reading on my phone at work again. That book everyone's reading, the one by the hot, new, young female essayist. My friend took a picture of every single page in the Barnes & Noble and sent it to me. I see her fingers holding back the pages. I understand not wanting to buy the hardcover, but also not wanting to wait. Today, I had a first session with a new therapist. I felt proud of myself when I told her, I'm finding it difficult to talk to you because you keep dozing off. There is a woman taking a shit in this Whole Foods bathroom, and it's perfect. I think I can find some other solutions. All right, here we go. All right, this is called Watching, Waiting, Commiserating. Car alarm on loop remains preferable to I told you so, the comforting refrain of a TV theme song. In Brooklyn, the motorbike boys still night ride down Nostrand. The street cats still make bodegas their homes. Sometimes the only good things are dogs and flowers, but then I remember fruit and horses. And the couple giving out pineapples to everyone in this park, hold music plays. Let's see what we got. All right, this might be a tricky one, but we were gonna try our best. Oat milk. Other miscellaneous trash. All right, this might be tricky. I read some Mark Balmer today. I'm just giving myself little tasks so I forget to get depressed. Can someone please tell me why most adults only wear neutrals? JK, I already know. So embarrassing to agree to have no opinion for eternity. Little Maul in my hand love bombs me, then tells me I'm small. Sometimes I think, what would the most deranged person wear? Then I wear that. I tried not spending any money for a whole week. On the 5th day, I had to buy gas. It all felt too normal. I got a couple more. All right, here we go. All right, sorry, I should have rehearsed that better. We're doing our best here. We're doing our best. In IKEA at the end of the world, I'm eating 2 veggie dogs at IKEA and it's empty because it's the end of the world. Wandering through display room maze, Goldilocks trying every couch, bed, and chair. The thrill to own everything in a house that's not yours. Sexually sulking in so many different banal interiors. Swedish design with a penchant for gentle placation. I didn't make this bed, but I'm lying in it. The world is over, wah wah, paws to eyes, lips to chin. It's possible that the princess felt the pee under all those mattresses because there was nothing else to feel. All right, I think I know, maybe I have one more somewhere. Does anyone in the chat have my poem? Can anyone in the chat drop it in?
Oh yeah, I got it. Oh, 1 sec.
Thank you. All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. This poem is called, Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and this is called Self-Care. It's rarely either or, the flat line of email hours, the consequent need to blow yourself up. Sometimes you need your friends to gather around and support you as you put a beehive on your genitals. You're alive, you did it, we love you so fucking much. Thank you.
Holy shit. You really got me with the phone dying. I was like,
You should be an actress and a ghost rights advocate and like, oh my God, you guys, damn.
It brings me so much joy to announce that Mary Boo is actually the winner also of the Mary Boo with a score of 40.7%, with close second at 37%, Joe Barchi.
But absolutely every presenter was exceptional, both in talking about haunted Las Vegas and also in their readings. Like, genuinely, this was so fucking good. Like, every single reader, you are so wonderful in your own perfect way, and I'm so grateful to have y'all here, and everyone else who joined as well. And I have to make a special thank you to Rochelle, because I got dumped last month, like in the thick of kind of planning this. And Rochelle was like, I fucking got you, and carried this thing so hard. So thank you to Rochelle, who's just like master organizer extraordinaire, literary goddess angel. So thank you to Rochelle, and then to all of Peach Mag, Jacob, and Sebastian, and everyone else there. It brings me so much joy to say that I'm from Buffalo, New York, because Peach is there as well.
Hell yeah. Well, we are hexing him and the rest of you. Thank you so much for coming out. This was so much fun. Yeah, I'd stick around if you want. We're gonna also have another one of these probably in like May or June, another 2 in the fall. I like always fuck it up at the sign off, so I'm just gonna say thank you so I can hit stop record and it can stop being awkward. All right, love you guys. Thanks for coming out. Hell yeah.